Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school, children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
So children, our lesson for today is for the subject English, and the name of the lesson is Rain in the Night, and it is a beautiful poem in your standard 4th English textbook. Alright, so it is a poem about rain and about what happens when it rains and what are the things that children like to do when it starts raining. So let's go to our poem and let me tell you what all we are going to do today. So we will read the poem first. We will try to understand the meaning of the difficult words in the poem. I will try to explain the poem to you line by line, and then we will do some exercises which are part of this lesson. Okay, so ready? So let's start by reading our poem once. Now I'm going to mark the line that I am reading with a dot so that you know where I am reading. Now let me tell you one more thing, children, a small instruction for you. Before I start teaching a lesson, what you can do is, once you know that this is a lesson we are going to learn today, so you can pause this video, you can go and get your textbook and open the textbook and come to this particular page, so that when I am reading, you can read along with me. Alright, so come on, let's start our lesson for today, and the name of the lesson is Rain in the Night. So, raining all night long, sometimes loud, sometimes soft, just like a song. There'll be rivers in the gutters and lakes along the street. It will make our lazy kitty wash his little dirty feet. The roses will wear diamonds like kings and queens at court. But the pansies will get muddy because they're so short. I'll sail my boat tomorrow in wonderful new places. But first I'll take my watering pot and wash the pansies' faces. So this is the poem. I will explain the poem to you line by line. But before we go to the next page, let us look at the name of the poetess here. So our poetess is Amelia Josephine Burr. So now let us try and understand what a poet is. So a poet is a person who writes poetry. Okay, what is poetry? Poetry means collection of poems. So who's a poet? A poet is a person who creates this kind of poetry. Now I said poetess, isn't it? I said Amelia Josephine Burr, our poetess. So now who's a poetess? So a poetess is nothing but a female poet. So there are men who write poetry, they are called as poets, and when a woman writes poetry, she is called as a poetess. So who's a poetess? A poetess is a female poet. Okay? So let us try to get a little bit of more knowledge about our poetess in this lesson. So her name is Amelia Josephine Burr. This is her picture. Okay? She lived long ago, and she was an American poet. She was born in New York City. Okay? This is just a small piece of information for you. She was born on 19th of November 1878, and she died on the 15th of June 1968. So she lived a long life, alright, of almost 90 years. So this was about the poetess of this particular poem. Now we will try and understand the lines of the poem one by one. So let us start with the first line in the poem, which says, raining, raining all night long. Means what? Now this is the season when this happens. Okay, right now we are in the month of August, and now you can see on certain days it rains throughout the day and throughout the night. So raining, raining all night long. Throughout the night it is raining. Okay, and raining, when it rains very badly, when it rains very hard, every place around you gets flooded. There is water all around you, isn't it? And then you can see animals, you can see birds trying to find shelter to save themselves from this rain. So it is raining and raining all night long. But remember, the rain is not even. Why? Because sometimes it is very loud. Loud rain means heavy rain. Sometimes it is loud, sometimes soft, just like a song. So when it is very loud means it is very heavily raining. It is raining very heavily. And when it is soft, it means it is just a drizzle. Okay, so now these are words which are used to describe rain. You say drizzle, you say shower. Okay, these are all words which are used to describe rain. So sometimes when it drizzles means when it rains little or when it rains less, that time it feels as if you're listening to a song. Alright, let's move on and see what the next line in the poem says. There'll be rivers in the gutters and lakes along the street. So the gutters, now we will see the meaning of gutter, because in the textbook they have asked you to find out the meaning of gutter. So we'll see it shortly. But see how the rivers, the gutters have become rivers. We all know what a gutter is, isn't it? It is a kind of a channel built next to a road. And the streets, that is the roads, they become like lakes. So now you know how much of water is there in the lake. So the roads also, or the streets, become like these lakes. So there'll be rivers in the gutters and lakes along the street. So now what are gutters? Let us look at the meaning of a gutter. So see, this is an image of a gutter. You must have seen gutters like this. Sometimes the kind of thing that people put up on the roof to collect rainwater are also called gutters, okay? But here the gutter that we are talking about is the gutter which is at the side of the road. So see, the gutter is the edge of a road next to the pavement where rainwater collects and flows away. So what happens in a gutter? When there is too much of rain, the rainwater, it jumps into the gutter or it flows into the gutter, and from there it flows away. But in our poem, what has happened is there is too much of rain and now the gutters have become like rivers. Okay, so that was the meaning of gutter for you. Let's move on with the poem now. It will make our lazy kitty wash his dirty little feet. So now cats are a little lazy. You must have seen they are not like dogs. Dogs are very active. They will jump, they will play with you. But a cat likes to lie down in a corner and she likes to relax and rest. And cats are not fond of water also, children. Cats do not like to enter water. They do not like to have a bath. So here the boy is saying that the kitty or his lazy cat will have to get up now and he will have to wash his little dirty feet. That is, when he walks in the water on the street, his feet will automatically become clean. Alright, let's move on. See, the roses will wear diamonds like kings and queens at court. Now what is the meaning of roses will wear diamonds? Now can a rose wear something? No, because a rose is just a flower. Roses will wear diamonds means when it rains too much, what will happen? There will be water droplets which will settle on these roses, and they will sparkle in the sunlight. They will shine in the sunlight, and they will look like diamonds, just like kings and queens wear when they are in court. So see, look at this king and this queen. Both of them have worn a lot of jewelry. That is, the king has worn a crown, he has worn a necklace. The queen has worn a crown, she's worn earrings, and she's worn necklace. And on all these pieces of jewelry, you will see there are big, big, colorful diamonds. Okay, so the roses will wear diamonds like kings and queens at court. And then you have the next line which says, but the pansies all get muddy because they're so short. See, these are pansies. I will tell you what the meaning of a pansy is. Now, just for now you understand that pansies means they are flowers. And they get muddy. Muddy means what? They become dirty. Why do the pansies become dirty, children? Because the pansies are very close to the ground. Okay, you can see this pansy. These are very close to the ground because they've got short plants. They are very short. And what happens as a result of this? When it rains heavily, the mud flies and it settles on these pansies, and the pansies become muddy. That is, they become dirty. Okay? But the pansies all get muddy because they are so short. So the rose wears a diamond. But on the other hand, another flower, that is the pansy, it becomes very, very muddy. So see how the rain affects two things differently. On one it has got a positive effect, and on the other one it has got a not so positive effect. Okay, now what are pansies, children? See here, these are all pansies. So pansies means it is a small garden plant that has flowers of many different colors with round petals. So what are they? In simple words, they are small garden plants, okay, which have got cute, small, beautiful, different colored flowers. So you can see that all the colors possible in pansies I have tried to show you in this picture. So there are purple pansies, there are pink pansies, there are yellow pansies, there are white ones, and then you will see there are mixed colored ones, there are ones which are orangish in color. Okay, so these are all pansies. So they are a kind of flower. So just like a rose is a flower, pansy is also a flower. Okay, so these are the two meanings. Let's move on and let's see what this boy will do then. What are his plans for the future? That when it rains too much, what will he do? I'll sail my boat tomorrow in wonderful new places. So when it rains, what do? You ask your mummy to make you a paper boat, isn't it? You fold the paper like this and you make a boat out of it. Your craft teacher also must have taught you this. You know that it is called as origami. So just remember this. Folding paper and creating things like a boat or a flower is called as origami. So what this child will do? He will or she will make a paper boat out of and using origami, and she or he will sail this boat in wonderful new places. But before going and sailing the boat, there is one small work that he has to do, and that is what? But first I'll take my watering pot. So what will she do? She will take her watering pot. That is a pot which we use in order to water plants. So first I'll take my watering pot and wash the pansies' faces. So washing the pansies' faces means what? That the pansies were all covered with mud, isn't it? They had become muddy. Why had they become muddy? Because they were short and they were close to the ground. So what does this child want to do? The child wants to wash the faces of these pansies so that they look fresh and they look colorful and they look beautiful. So what is this poem about, children? It is about rain, and it is about what all things happen during the rain and what the child in the poem wants to do during the rainy season. Okay, so like I told you in the beginning, let us now look at a few exercises from this particular lesson. Hope you have understood the poem. Let's go to some exercises. So let us try to answer the following questions. So let us look at our first question here. How long has it been raining? So in the textbook, what will you do? As soon as you see this question, you will pause the video, you will go back to your textbook and you will try and see what the answer to this question is. Once you have figured out the answer, then you can again play the video and check the answer that I will be giving you now. Alright, so this is a session, a kind of a session, children, where I cannot ask you a question and expect an answer from you on the spot. Okay, so you also should not get used to this ready-made answer. For this reason, I will give you the small tip. What will you do when you are watching a video and if there is a question which is being asked, you should pause the video immediately and you should try to search for the answer, and then you can cross-check the answer when you get the answer from me. Okay, so let us check out what the answer for this is. How long has it been raining? So it has been raining all night. So look at this picture. This is a picture of a city street during the night time. And see how much it is raining, and it is raining continuously. You can hardly see any person on the road, isn't it? One, it is night, and two, it is raining so badly. So how long has it been raining? It has been raining all night. Let's go to the next question. So did you check the answer and did you see whether it matches with your answer? Look at the next one. What effect will the rain have on the kitty? So what effect will the rain have on the cat, which is a very lazy animal? What will the cat have to do? The cat or the kitty will have to wet his dirty feet. He will have to get up from his place and he will have to walk around. If he wants food, if he wants to go to the toilet, when he walks, what will happen is his legs or his feet, which he has not washed for long, will get wet and they will become clean, isn't it? So this is the next answer. Let's look at some more questions. So the next question is, what effect will the rain have on the roses? So now we saw the effect of the rain on two things, isn't it? One on the roses and one on another flower, that is the pansy, and also of course the cat. But now let us talk about what effect will the rain have on the roses. So the rain will make the rose look as if it is studded with diamonds. So your answer will be the roses will shine as if studded with diamonds. Studded means in Hindi we say jada hua. Okay, a necklace is studded with diamonds, means a necklace is full of diamonds. So here the rose is also studded or decorated with diamonds. So are these diamonds real, children? No, they are not real diamonds. So where will you find real diamonds? You will find real diamonds in the jewelry of the king and the queen when they go to the court. So what are the diamonds on the rose here? They are drops of water, or we can say they are droplets of water. Okay, so have you checked your answer? Does your answer match with mine? Next question. What effect will the rain have on the pansies? So I told you we have two flowers here. One is the rose and one is the pansy. The rose looks very beautiful, as if it is studded with diamonds, decorated with diamonds. What about this flower, the pansy? So what happens to the pansy, children, here because of the rain? The pansies will have mud all over them, because a rose is very high up in the air, because it has got a bigger bush, whereas the pansies are very close to the ground. That is the reason they will have mud all over them. Okay, so this is the effect that the rain will have on the pansies. The pansies will have mud all over them. Let's go on to the next question now, and that is, what is the child planning to do the next day? So what is the child planning to do the next day? He's planning to do so many things, not just one thing. Okay, so one of the things that the child is planning to do is, the child is planning to water the pansies, to clean them. Now it is a rainy season. Now you know that in the rainy season plants get enough of water because of the rain. So there is no need for you to water the plants in order to make them grow. But this child is planning to water the pansies so that they become clean and the mud is washed off their face. Now when you get dirty, when your face gets dirty, what do? You wash it with soap and water, isn't it? In the same way, the child is also planning to wash the pansies by watering them. And he's also planning to sail the paper boats. Okay, so these are the things that the child plans to do the next day. Let's look at some more questions here. So now this is a question where you have to describe in 3 to 5 lines what will happen when it rains in your surroundings. Now children, anything which happens, whether it is rain, whether it is sunshine or any other thing which happens, there are two sides to it. There could be some positive things which happen, some good things which happen, and some not so good things which happen. Okay, so now let us look at a few ideas. I will give you a few ideas and then this will be your homework. You can write about 3 or 5 lines of your own later. So let me show you what I think will happen when it rains in my surrounding. So the rainy season comes after the summer season, we all know, and during the summer season it is so dry and brown everywhere. As soon as it starts raining, you will see small trees sprouting, you will see grass everywhere, small plants sprouting, you will see grass everywhere and greenery all around you. Look at this. This entire place has become green, isn't it? The road on which you can see some cars going, and on either side of the road you will see that the land has become green in color, the mountain has become green in color, and overall nature looks very, very beautiful. Okay, so this is one thing which happens according to me when it rains in my surroundings. You can also think of certain things which happen in your surroundings when it starts raining. The next thing which I think it happens in my surrounding is not so good or not so pleasant. And what is that? Sometimes the area gets flooded. Flooded means there is water all around. And this is something which we do not want to happen, isn't it? What happens if it floods? See, people sometimes die. They get washed away in this flood. Alright, and now you can see the shops here at the side. Now the water enters these particular shops and everything in the shops is destroyed. Okay, people suffer huge losses. You can see the car on the road. Now the car also sometimes can get damaged because of this water. Trains stop moving and the transport comes to a standstill. Sometimes there is no light also. The current also goes away because of the heavy rain and because of the water logging. Alright children, so now I will give you a small piece of assignment like I told you. So what are you supposed to do now? You are supposed to write in 3 to 5 lines what happens when it rains in your surroundings. Now some of you might be living in a village, so there you will see that different things happen. Whereas some of you live in cities, so there different things happen. If you are living in a village, what do you think can happen? You will suddenly see that when it starts raining, people who do the work of farming, okay, people who are farmers in your surrounding, they start going to work, they start going to their fields and they start doing farming, isn't it? So according to your surrounding, depends on whether you're living in a village or depends on whether you're living in a city, you will see different things happening when it rains. Okay, so you are supposed to write 3 or 5 lines about that. So children, today what all have we done in the lesson? We read the poem. I tried and explained the meaning of poet and poetess to you. We looked at each line of the poem along with beautiful pictures and images, and there were some questions in your textbook about the effect of the rain on different things and what the child in the lesson or in the poem plans to do when it rains. Okay, and towards the end we tried to describe what happens when it rains in your surroundings. And at the end of the lesson I have also given you a small assignment where you are supposed to write what happens in your surroundings when it rains. And also during the lesson, also I gave you small assignments, children, where when I asked a question, I told you to pause the video and try to figure out the answers yourself, and then what you're supposed to do, and then you're supposed to run the video again and check whether your answer matches with my answer.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.